Hi everyone, I'm Shelley Hughes. I'm the Director for the Therapeutics Portfolio here at Pearson Clinical Assessment. I'm an occupational therapist by background, and today we're here to talk to you about sensory processing in everyday life.
Hi, I'm Melinda Cooper, and I'm also an occupational therapist, and I'm the product manager for the occupational therapy line at Pearson. So when you think about it, you realise that every experience you've had in your life, everything you've felt and learned and witnessed, has involved sensory processing. As Winnie Dunn, occupational therapist and also author of the Sensory Profile, reminds us in her quite often used quote, the experience of being human is embedded in the sensory events of everyday life.
So, sensory processing really is a fundamental part of our existence, but just like we have diversity in so many other aspects of being human, we know that different people will process the same sensory input in many different ways. So recognising and understanding this is the first step to embracing sensory diversity and ensuring that we achieve the best possible fit between a person's sensory preferences and needs, the sensory experiences they have through the activities they do, and the environment they do them in.
Whether we're aware of them or not, our sensory preferences influence a lot of the choices we make in our lives, and our sensory processing patterns shape the way we experience the world. Shelley, can you share some experience of how this plays out in your life?
Certainly, I have many experiences, but there's a couple that sort of spring to mind. One being that I'm very much a more than others sensitivity to visual stimuli or visual input. I need to wear an eye mask to sleep. The slightest bit of light wakes me. But I also notice things around me. So when I'm traveling, I notice the features of the environment. I get a lot out of seeing the environment around me. And it helps me navigate where I'm going because I remember all the slightest landmarks and places that I've been. And that's really helpful. Conversely, I am very much a more than other sensitivity to auditory information. I really notice sounds around me, and I enjoy peace and quiet to do focused work. I'm easily distracted by the conversations of others in the background. So during the pandemic, I found that really helpful to be able to work maybe in a little bit more isolation in a home environment, to be able to shut out a lot of that extraneous sort of information and be able to sort of focus on what I need to focus on. So yeah, that's a couple of examples that sort of spring to mind from me. I'm sure you've got some as well, Melinda.
Well, it's interesting because I'm actually the opposite sensory pattern to you for auditory. So I'm a less than others in sensitivity. So I'm very good at filtering out extraneous noise and just honing in very specifically on what I need to focus on. So I kind of get in the zone and don't hear sounds around me, which, you know, in certain circumstances, like an open plan office, as we all used to work in before the pandemic, that was a real strength in terms of being able to get things done and not being distracted by what was going on around me. Although having said that, if any of my co-workers needed to get my attention, they wouldn't find it very easy. They would have to physically come and tap me on the shoulder or really get close to me before I would be able to break my concentration and speak to them. So there are always pros and cons to every sensory processing pattern, and I guess the challenge for us as OTs is to find the best fit between a person's sensory preferences and the environments and the tasks that they're doing.
Excellent, wonderful. So just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us for this short little video today. Be sure to keep an eye on your local Pearson website to learn more about our occupational therapy tools and to learn more about sensory processing in everyday life. So yeah, thank you very much.